What's up, guys? Real quick video. I just wanted to go over how you can get professional website or catalog product photos on a budget. So let's get into it right now. All right, so like I said, I want to take just a quick minute and show you guys how you can get professional product photos on a budget. This entire setup that you see right here, I probably spent maybe $100 on. And I have shot tons and tons and tons of product photos like this. I've shot for some of the largest online retailers in the world. I've had multiple week photo shoots with literally 10,000 plus products. And this is the setup that I use to do it all. It can be done on a budget, and it's not so much how that you shoot it or what you shoot it with, but how you shoot it. So let's jump into that right now. I'm going to show you a little bit on this budget setup, and if you guys like what you see, all the products are in the description below. You guys can pick it up and start getting your product photos out there. So first off, what we have here, this is the Limo Studio or Limo Studio, however it's pronounced. These are the soft boxes. They have 4 bulbs in them. They usually come with the CFL bulbs in them. I actually took the CFL bulbs out and I just run regular, LED, the new light bulbs that you can get basically anywhere. I pick up like 14 packs of them at Costco, or 10 packs at Costco for $14. These are just the plastic LED light bulbs. They work great, so it creates less heat and they last longer. And I feel like they put out a little bit better of a brightness. So I picked up 2 of these Limo Studios. It actually came as a 3-pack with an overhead. The overhead I don't really use that much because I usually use my ring light. But if you wanted to put an overhead light, it does. Most of these packs do come with 3 of these with the stands and the soft boxes. I don't even run the soft boxes. I just run it right like this, right how you're seeing it like this. And it creates enough light for what I do. So that's the Limo Studios or Limo Studios, Limo Studios, however you want to pronounce it, soft box set. They're cheap. They're on Amazon. Like I said, links below in the description. The next step we have is we have our seamless paper in the back. And what I use is I use the Savage seamless paper. It works great. I know that a lot of people are switching to the vinyl backdrops now. The seamless paper works and it's cheap for what you need. If you want to go with the vinyl, you by all means you can. But when you're taking product photos, I have noticed I've taken a lot of industrial style parts and products, like screws. And I shot for a laundry company for their magazine for parts. So I shot like washers and computer boards and microchips and stuff like that. And that stuff gets dusty. So if you have a vinyl backdrop and you're trying to shoot on that, it might not be beneficial because you're going to get it dirty. Then you got to try to get it clean. This paper, you can just literally just rip a part off, start over, keep going, and it's great. I think I paid like $25 for a roll on Amazon. Links are below. So that's I use the ultra white as the backdrop. You can get many different colors depending on what type of products you're shooting. Like I said, I'm showing you the generic, online catalog, white background, product pictures. That's kind of what I'm going for in this. So that's what I did with that. The super white backdrop, Savage paper. The last portion of it is I have a white piece of lucite or plexiglass. Basically, it's white colored. That way, when the product is sitting on the board, it actually creates a little bit of reflection. I have tried just regular clear plexi. It works. You can pick it up at like Menards and stuff like that. I found that trying to get a color that you're going for helps a little bit with masking it with the background. So I run the white. If I'm doing the white background, I have a piece of black. And actually, what I did is I picked up a clear plexiglass and I spray painted the bottom side of it black. That way, let me just grab that real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the black one, and essentially you can kind of see through it. But what I did is I just took a clear piece of plexi and I spray painted the back side of it black. That way it creates a nice, Nice black finish. When it's laying down, you definitely can't see through it. The reason you're seeing through it right now is because of the lighting being behind it. But when it's laying on the table and it's on a black piece of paper, or I mean even a sheet or whatever you're using, it's great. It works awesome. You can't go wrong with that. So that's how I run those. And then you just kind of just put the product on there. I'm not going to run through all of the steps on how to actually take the product photos or how to, set it up. I'll just tell you I'm using my D600, Nikon D600. I'm running it at a f/18. That way nothing's really blown out. Everything is in focus. ISO 200, and I'm running it on a 3-second shutter speed. So that way, because nothing's moving, so nothing's going to be blurry. I'll drop it way down and let it expose, let it stay open long enough to get a really crisp photo with low ISO and lots of depth of field. That way everything is in focus. So I've taken a couple photos of this vape liquid from a buddy of mine's company, E-Vapor of Appleton, Stance Liquids. So we're going to go over to the computer now, and I'm going to show you how I edit what I've done. And I'll show you the before and the after. That way you guys can get a feeling on this budget setup. Once again, links are in the description below. One more time, the Limo, however you want to say it, Studio Lights, Savage backdrop, backdrop stand, of course, and table, and the clear or white lucite, light bulbs, a couple clamps holding the paper down. That's basically how I run it. It's a cheap fold-out table underneath. That's how it goes. So let's jump over now. I'll show you what these photos look like before, show you how to clean them up, and we'll go from there. So let's go. All right, so now we're ready to jump into Lightroom, and I'm going to show you how to edit the photos to make them look amazing. So we're going to hop into Lightroom here, and as you can see, I already brought a couple up, and here's the vape picture that I was talking about. We're actually going to take this photo, bring it from this, and actually turn it into something a little more usable, kind of like this. As you can see, this was a very quick shoot. I didn't take a ton of time, so it's still a little oddly exposed, but I wanted to, this is more about how to take the photos on a budget and how to quickly edit them. I hope when you guys are doing projects and actually getting into creating these that you do take more time, but this is more to teach you the overview of it and let you guys dive into it more yourself. I am here to help. If you want to leave a comment, I can go into it more, but let's just jump in. I'm going to show you how I take a photo like this and turn it more into what you saw. So the first step we're going to need to do is we're going to need to crop it. I go 1:1, that way it's the right size that we need, and we can actually get it a little bit bigger here in the square, center it up, and it looks a little crooked, so I'm gonna, and then you're just going to create it essentially how I do all of my other products or all of my other photos. You're just going to go through that process with Lightroom, and I start out down here on the dehaze. I bring the dehaze up a little bit, and you can see that's going to blow it out if I do too much, so just a little bit, give that a nice little bit better of a color. Lens correction right away. Those are the steps that I always do, no matter what. Then we're going to go up here. We're going to play around with the coolness a little bit, and I like my photos when I'm doing product photos to have a little bit more of a blue tint to them, a little bit cooler. I feel like it looks a little bit more normal on a website or in a catalog than having a yellow tint to it. So we're going to bring the contrast up just a little bit. Now this is where we're really going to start noticing some differences when we get into editing the highlights, shadows, whites. So what I usually do is I bring the highlights down a little bit, and then I bring the shadows down. If you bring it down too much, you're going to notice that it kind of blows it out. So you don't want to do it too much, just enough. That way you don't lose any of this detail up in here. And then the whites I usually bring up, and then the blacks I usually bring not down a ton, but down just a little bit. And you can see this is already looking much better, way more usable. It's still a little harsh in the colors. I guess I didn't really pick the best product to use considering it's so many different colors right here, but it's a good example to be able to work with something and try to make it work. So You could even bring it down if you wanted, but I'm gonna just bring it down just a tad. That way we can get rid of some of this yuckiness that's in there. Really know what to call it, so yuckiness is the word I'm using. But as you can see, this already looks better. I noticed I'm a little off center here, so we will just go there. If you want to take it even further, you can go down and add a vignette to it, which will even create more of a white area background. Or you could just take and you could cut this right out, bring it over into Photoshop, lasso it, create a new layer, bring it out like that. I'm not jumping that far into it today. I'm just more showing you how to edit it. But you can bring the vignette up a little bit. If you bring the vignette up a lot, you're going to notice. But I tend to sometimes bring it up and then feather it out. And then, so as you notice, it doesn't do much. The only thing it's really going to do that'll help you out is it'll create a little bit wider of a background or a border. That way it matches a website a little bit better if you're using a white background. But that is that's the original, and there's your final edit. So as you can see, it looks completely different, so much better, so usable, and I don't feel like I would have a problem putting that on a website whatsoever. Let's go in, let's do one more. We will do this one with the sunglasses. So right off the bat, I noticed there is a reflection in my bulbs right here. We're going to have to get rid of that, and we get to that in a second. First off, we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to bring this up a little bit, and we're going to equal it out, 1:1 ratio. So now we'll go down, and we will hit the dehaze button. As you can see, the dehaze does quite a bit for this one. I mean, you could bring it all the way up and make it gross if you wanted, but just going to go up a little bit with it because we will get rid of this reflection and this a little bit more with another process. So lens corrections on. Now we'll go back up here and we will start playing with this a little bit. I'm going to bring the contrast up just a smidge, and then we will bring the highlights down, the shadows down. As you can see, that's already going to darken my lenses, but it's also darkening the frame of the glasses as well. So we will bring that down just a little bit. We'll go up with our whites and we will go down with our blacks. So that's where you're going to get your darkness on the glasses. We will bring the vibrance up, bring the clarity up a little bit, and then let's make this picture a little bluer. So there you go. That is pretty close to edited. It might be a little dark, so we'll just bring this up a little bit. Pretty close to edited. Let's get rid of this by using the spot removal tool and click there. Pulled from there. I'm just going to bring it back over here so it pulls right from the separate section of the sunglasses. And there you go. That is pretty much ready. That's the original, crop down original. And that is the after. As you can see, you could dive more in and, fix some of this stuff, the scratches in here, and get that done. But I mean, overall, this looks good. I think you could get away with using this on a product page, especially if you're just trying to get your products out there for someone to see, or get, just some notification on your products, get some people to notice them. But if you're doing this for a client, you're definitely going to want to get in and edit more, get deeper into the lenses, correct some of the scratches. Clearly, I'm using a used pair of my daughter's sunglasses, so they have scratches on them. When you're shooting your product photos, you want to make sure you ask for the best products that they have. Clean them up, get them real good. The more you can do when you're actually taking the photos, the less you'll have to do on your computer, and you can just get to the color correction and the cleaning up that way. That is pretty much all for it today, guys. I hope this helped you out on this Tutorial Tuesday. I don't really know what I'm going to call it, but if you liked it, make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, leave me a comment. If you have questions, leave a comment, let me know. Once again, all the products that I talked about earlier in this video, equipment-wise, are available. Links are in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!